A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Stock Durbar with Team William India. I'm Rushit Sechpal, Equity Analyst at Unil India. So it's a clear disclaimer that the registration granted by the SEBI, the membership of BHEL and certification from NISM is no way guarantee performance of the intermediary or provide any assurance of return to investors. Investment in the security market are subjected to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Okay, so as always, let's begin our session with Nifty 50 setup. So if you look at the current setup, we are now, it looks like the market is exhausted. ठीक है, अभी आपने recently phase देखा that we had a very good run, right? Around the Diwali period, the overall run was very good in the market. Now the market is stuck around that 800 zone. तो 800 850 वाला zone है, वहां पे strong resistance मिल रहा है निफ्टी को. This is 19800 950 and it feels like the market is exhausted. Now there are two things. If the market is exhausted, firstly it might take a rest, gain some energy, थोड़ा energy drink पिएगा, थोड़ा power इकट्ठा करेगा market and it will rally. So when this 850 वाला zone के ऊपर हम बंद आ जाते हैं एक बार, ठीक है, 875 80 900 के around, if we get a good close on a decent volume, that's the time when the market might resume the rally and the next focus will be the all-time new high. That is, we want to cross 20,222 mark. Okay, so that's the one case. If you get the energy drink, if you get the power, required power, the market might run up. Second thing, if the market is exhausted and if doesn't get the enough power, if there are no positivity around the market, the global market doesn't support, कुछ ऐसा positive news नहीं है, then it might happen. We might go we might go to test the 50 DMA. Okay, so the 50 DMA is around that 550 600 zone. So if the 50 DMA is breached, the red line over here is the 50-day level. So if the 50 DMA level gets breached, then the fall might continue from there and we might see some more selling in the market. But as of now, we are in a very safe zone, you can say, or the resistance zone to be precise. And let's see where we go. Like, do we go to 50 DMA or rebound? Do we go to 50 DMA or breach it and fall? Or we move about the resistance zone? ये 850 900 वाले पे एक बार हम चले जाके वहां पे क्लोज हो जाते हैं and then the rally resumes. So these are the cases for the Nifty. Now, if you look at the global market is standing really tall. Okay, if you look at the Nasdaq, the Dow, the European market, the Japanese market, so they are relatively strong. So there are no negative cues from the global markets. For the Indian market itself, if you see the broader market, let's go to mid caps. And mid caps are at fresh all-time high. I think since last many days, it is making a new high every day. ये रोज का हो गया. वो बोलते हैं ना, रोज सुबह उठो नाओ न्यू हाई बनाओ. तो वो मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स का वो वाला सीन चल रहा है अभी. So this is the mid caps chart. If you look at the small cap, the similar things goes over there, right? अभी एक दो दिन से थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे है. Yesterday it made a high around 13,989, 14,000 का लेवल क्रॉस नहीं कर पाया, but broadly it is very close to new high. And even if you look at the volume since last 3 days, when it was consolidating or moving a bit on the lower side, it were on the lower side. So broader market में कोई issue नहीं है. There are always some stocks. There is always a pocket of stocks that is in good strength. This is just I have given a clear disclaimer that whatever we discuss is not for investment advice, so please do not take it like that. So अभी जैसे कि आज भी शुगर चल रहा है, फिर ऑटो चला, ठीक है, उससे पहले ये रेलवे स्टॉक्स बीच में अच्छा मोमेंटम में से. So there are always groups, one or two sectors that are doing really well in the market. So the overall, to conclude, the markets are really holding well. Now it all depends upon on which side of the thing the consolidation ends. ठीक है, अभी हम 9-10 मैच जीत गए हैं. We are moving towards that final. Okay, though I don't want to remember that. Okay, let's take some other example. But yes, we are almost completing the consolidation. So let's see if we can break out or if we break down below 50 DMA and we see some fall. So that's the only two scenarios. We are now done with the Q2 result season. That was quite well. I think many of the groups and many of the sectors did really well in the Q2 numbers. And the positivity for the H2, that is the second half, is also good one for the markets. Overall, there is no major issue. Now, one thing is there, if you see the sector wise, Nifty Bank, which is one of the major constituent in Nifty, it is a bit on the weaker side. So it is below its all the key moving averages. अगर बैंक निफ्टी का देखो तो 50 DMA के properly नीचे है and it is trying to hold near its 200 DMA. It is that weak. So if you look at the 200 DMA, it's around 4324. So we are just above that level. आज भी वहीं पे support मिला था हमको. So let's see, बैंक निफ्टी में अभी next focus रहेगा कि ये 200 DMA breach ना करे and it start its upward journey and reclaim this 44 300 400 level. So बैंक निफ्टी में अभी broadly देखो ना तो 44 300 400 तक there is no major positive momentum that you see in bank nifty. So it needs some 800 900 points rally from here to come in that positive zone. But once we get it, I think the bank nifty also might help the market to reach a all-time new high. But let's see. I think the current levels are very very important. यहाँ भी देखे, so a bit of the inverted head and shoulder type. So let's see if it can complete this inverted head and shoulder and rally, or it gets a breakdown over here. The similar things are forming on Nifty as well. So yes, you can see the similar type of formation is there on the Nifty as well. So let's see if we can end this consolidation, break out from this 850 900 zone, or we can rally or not. So that's give the respect to levels. I think don't try to predict the levels. Don't try to catch it beforehand. But एक बार वो level के ऊपर आ जाते हैं, then you have many quality stocks to run after. Now, a couple of weeks back, when we saw that there is a good momentum in the market, 50 DMA reclaim हो गया था. Mid cap, small cap was at new high. The global market was at new high. So we're looking at all these scenarios. There were multiple stocks that were breaking out. बहुत सारे ऐसे sectors और बहुत सारे ऐसे stock थे जो बेस अपना पूरा कर रहे थे, जैसे कप विथ हैंडल या डबल बॉटम खत्म हो रहा था, ब्रेकआउट हो रहे थे, ब्रेकआउट के बाद भागे जा रहे थे. This all thing was happening when Nifty was in a certain range. And with the some of the positive indications that we always look for, वो हमको मिल गया. That is why we turned on the buy switch. अभी buy switch turn okay, we have started adding the quality stocks, right? And they are doing quite well overall as a portfolio if you see. Now our next focus will be on how the Nifty behaves in the next few days, and then we will decide how to further, add on these stocks to the portfolio. So we discussed about the Nifty Bank, that's at a very critical zone. Now, if we look at the Nifty Auto Index, so it is at a new high. So auto stocks are doing really, really well. And if you look at the many of the auto stocks have made a new high. Even if you look at the index as a whole, and it is also trading at a fresh high. Today it closed above 17,000 level. So the sales has been very robust. The Tata Motors is supporting the Bajaj Auto is at a new high. So all these big giant auto names are at a fresh high. So currently, if you look at the level, so it has crossed 17,000 level today, and in fact closed above that level. So broadly वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि निफ्टी एक जोन में स्टक है. बाकी ब्रॉडर मार्केट देखे, मिड कैप, स्मॉल कैप, अभी हमने ऑटो देखा, ठीक है. Now, if you look at the other few indexes, let's take FMCG for example. So Nifty FMCG, that is consolidating, but it is holding above its all the key moving averages, and I think that's been a long consolidation for the index. But the good part is it is holding above the key moving averages, and the volume has dried up. So once the volumes dry up, there is a chances that it might gain the momentum from here, or on the flip side, if it breaches the key moving averages, then there might be some fall again to test the 50,000 level. ये वाला जो नीचे वाला zone है 50 to 51 वाला, it might test over there, but broadly the things are looking quite robust for it. Now, if you look at the IT index, which is number 2 in the Nifty after the banks, it has done really well. जो अभी का निफ्टी का रैली है उसको होल्ड करने में या उसको 800 850 जोन पे के लिए या वहां तक पहुंचाने के लिए IT stocks have played a good role over here. So if you look over the last week, so that was very good for the IT stock. Couple of sessions, I think, due to TCS mainly, there was a very good boom in the Nifty IT index, and it has reclaimed its all key moving averages, and it is moving very close to its 52-week high. So 33,400 is its 52-week high, and we are moving towards that level. So यहाँ से काफी अच्छा देखो, this is what important. अभी 2 दिन ये ऊपर गया था, there was a strong momentum here, and look at the volume. So volume is really high. This horizontal line is last 50-day average volume line, and we are above that on the both the occasions and much above that. So that's what shows the strength. तो अभी ये वाला जो पूरा है ना, so that is a very strong zone for IT index. After that, since last 4 5 days it is consolidating, और ये जो consolidation है वो lower volume पे आया है. So yes, the IT index is also standing strong even in the global market. If you look at the Nasdaq, if you look at the stocks in the Nasdaq, they have been very robust, and if you look them, then they are holding near its breakout point. I was just looking at this Microsoft, Google, Tesla, other बाकी के जो Google fan के stocks है, so they are in the right side of the base, या तो they are completing right side of the base, or they are very close to pivot or breakout हो चुके हैं. So some of the leading tech stocks globally are holding really well. So there is a good chance that we might hold certain levels over here as well. And other index in the Indian markets are doing really well, something like Nifty Realty. So if you look at the Realty index, it is at a fresh high, and look at the rally. It was 560, around 560 around tha October last week mein. And so we are now approaching November last week, and the index has already crossed 700 level. So आज का अगर देखो ना, तो 700 के ऊपर बंदा है ये वाला. So it's at a new high. It hits a new high today. So the realty index, the auto index, all at a new high. Okay. Now if we look at the metals, yeah, even metals are holding above key moving averages, and they are forming a trend line. So let's see if it can cross this trend line and move higher. Right? So it is very close to that levels. यहाँ पे. But the index is above its key moving averages, and there has been a good rally since last 3 4 weeks over here as well. So I think on the sectorial front, it's only the banks, and they have a higher weightage. So if we see that bank nifty rebounds from here, then ultimately what I was talking about, that अभी जो exhaustion zone में है निफ्टी, वो 800 850 वाला उसको निकाल लेगा और उसके ऊपर निफ्टी बंद हो जाएगा. But for that, I think we need a good support from the Nifty Bank. And for the Nifty Bank, the 44,200 400 के around का zone है, that is very important. So 2% movement from here is important to watch out. Okay, so I think the other, if we come across few questions, we'll deal it. So now the forum is open for you guys. You just post the questions. We'll try to answer as many as possible. And please do not post it multiple times because it's a live session. And to scroll back when there are same questions multiple times from the same user, then it becomes tough for us. So just keep it once. We will try to answer as many as possible. So in this today's meeting, we have our head of research, Mayuresh Joshi, and my colleague Wakar and Rajshekar are also here. So we'll all will together try to answer as many questions as possible.
Thanks, Rashid. I'll start with the Q&A session now. Am I audible, Rashid?
Yes, Raj, please continue.
Yeah. I'll start with the first query, that is Vedanta. It has been in the news for the debt levels and the repayment which the company has to do in the next coming year, and that is the reason the stock has also beaten down. You can see both fundamentals and technicals are not looking good for the company at the current moment. Fundamental EPS strength of 12 indicates a very poor fundamental character, and technicals have also been beaten down because of underperformance of the stock when compared to the general market. Currently, it is trading below 200 EMA and 100 EMA. So there is no proper base formation, and it doesn't qualify as a calcium stock at this moment. Coming to the target, which the user is asking here, there is no predefined target. We would we would not advise to accumulate at this current moment. I would like we are advised to better to exit these kind of stocks which are moving against the market or which are underperforming the market. It's better to stick with the leaders rather than sticking with the laggards. Stocks like these will definitely going to underperform, and your portfolio performance will also succumb due to this. And then I'll move to JSL and Jain Irrigation. Uh,
Raj, you are not audible.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I think my system is logged out from MarketSmith. I'm logging in. Just
Raj, it's okay. Vakar here. You log back in. I'll take the queries from you.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Raj selected JSL, so we'll speak about JSL first. So, pure disclaimer, it's part of the model portfolio at this moment. So, who are our premium subscribers must be doing that. We're currently holding on to this stock. Yesterday, the news came out that um, the company is removing their pledge on shares, and that is why you can see some positive movement happening. All the pledge that was there. If we go back to in terms of all the parameters plus the recent results along with the fund holding, you must be knowing that it is one of the best placed stocks. That is why it was added to the model portfolio, and currently it's around 3% from the pivot. And one can, if someone has bought it with us, can continue to hold it. On the downside, if you look at it, 21 DMA and 50 DMA, what's the levels? Can you show me, Rishit? 21 is around 10.86 and 50 is around 10.39. So 10.5%. So from so more or less around the stop loss levels. So you can always trail your stop loss to the 21 DMA. Currently, the 21 and the 50 DMA is kind of very at a clustered level. So will act as a good support if it goes down to that level. But yesterday, as you can see, the pivot around the pivot levels, the stock held very well. And so hopefully, if market remains supportive, I mean, the stock can turn out to be a good winner if market remains supportive. Otherwise, on the flip side, if 50 and the 21 DMA gets breached, you should probably exit out. That's our view as well. Next, we can look at it is IP real estate.
Looks like it's not loading for me as well.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, let's go for something else. Let's go for Reliance. Reliance, then Olectra Greentech.
No, it's not loading on charts. Raju, can you quickly check if there is a tech issue in MSI?
Just let me check.
Yeah, I will check, Ruchi.
Yeah, it's a backend issue. We're really sorry about this. We just get get it sorted. Just give us a second.
So there is one comment about the from the YouTube, and that's related to the IPO sessions also. So now we don't take IPO sessions, but we have our method to trade IPO. So we generally don't do it on the opening day or like before the IPOs or in the first couple of sessions. But we have our method to trade IPO stocks. So there are a lot of learning articles that are available. If you just type Smith India, IP, you can say Miss. So if it loads, yeah. Okay, again, there's a website problem, but yes, you can go to this one. A missed IPO is not a missed opportunity. And William O'Neill has designed some set of rules, like how. So there are traditional bases like a double bottom. Oh, that's loading. So this is how you trade. This is the frame of a work of an IPO base. Okay, there are 6 frameworks, and this is we have also given some examples over here. So you guys can just look at this article. I'm just sharing it on the chat. This is how we suggest to go for an IPO. Like after listing, look for these conditions that the baseline देखो, close first day का closing कैसा है, a small of 5 to 15, 25 days का base बना या नहीं बनाया, and with the standard pivot point, take the entry. So this is how we trade the IPO. So this is just an example of Apple. जैसे कि Apple में कैसे हुआ कि पूरा यहाँ पे कप जैसा बनाया था within first few days, and look at the day one volume बहुत हाई था, फिर अभी जैसे गिर रहा था तो एकदम ड्राई वॉल्यूम हो गया था, उसके बाद एक्यूमुलेशन चालू हुआ और जो ये डे वन का हाई था उसके ऊपर गया, राइट. सो दैट्स वेयर यू नीड टू बाय दिस स्टॉक. दिस इज आवर आईपीओ ट्रेडिंग स्ट्रेटेजीज. और वहां से फिर एक अच्छा तुमको रिटर्न मिल सकता है, उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है. सो इट्स ऑल अपॉन द प्रोबेबिलिटी, बट it increases over here. So this is how we approach the IPO stocks.
Rushe, till it gets loaded, NR had a question on what impact is RBI's CR increase expected to have on Bank Nifty. So to a large extent, folks, what is really transpired after the RBI circular is the extent in terms of unsecured loans being and the norms thereof being strengthened and tightened. So if you would have seen as a system, 8.4% is the overall unsecured loans of the overall banking book, out of which the bifurcation between personal and credit card loans is 6.6 and 1.6 or 1.8 odd percent. So it's a very proactive measure that RBI is taking. Just as a corollary to what the US markets have done, the US markets credit card debt has crossed $1 trillion. There have apparently been some news in terms of defaults that have started happening in terms of credit card debt as well. Maybe marginal at this point of time, but with expectations of interest rates expected to stay higher for longer, and a lot of payments that can probably go through in terms of credit cards as savings are dwindling in savings stroke their other savings accounts as well. a large extent of that spillover effect can come through in terms of the banking system. Having said that, the proactive measures that RBI has taken obviously takes a hit both for banks and NBFCs who are majorly into this. RBL Bank, case in point, is big time into a lot of credit card loans. A lot of unsecured lending happens for a few of the NBFCs. And a few loans have been kept outside the purview. So vehicle loans, auto loans, gold loans have been kept outside the purview. So within banks and NBFCs, which of them have a lesser exposure to both these spaces is critical, because to a certain extent, with the increased provisioning that will happen, the banks will take a hit in terms of their adequacy ratios, which is measured by CET1. Now, if the CET1 ratios go down, which to a certain extent, as far as consensus estimates are concerned, for a lot of large and mid sector banks, whether private or public, can be to the extent of 1% or 1.5%. And similarly for a few spaces within the NBFC space. So to that extent, as an example, say SBI, which had a CET1 of 12.2 before the circular, almost 1% gets shaved off. And that has an incremental bearing in terms of how much of aggressive lending you can do. Because if your CET1 gets reduced, that much of leverage available starts getting reduced. Now, Bank Nifty is very, very precariously placed. It is placed exactly at its 200 DMA. I think the charts have just loaded up. And it's clearly moving between that range of 200 DMA on the downside and probably on the higher side of the range. Now the 50 DMA needs to be taken out. But with these implications, obviously, there is going to be some earnings impact, and that has been reflected in price for most stocks. And even after numbers, the price action for a few of the banking stocks anyway has been weak. Case in point being ICICI Bank is an example, which had a decent number, but still the price action was on the weaker side. SBI. There were a few outliers, if I'm not mistaken, which was Karur VSN, Midcaps. Was it City Union Bank? Which Stub also did well, I think, from a price action perspective. And even the PSU banks, which had a very stellar run, in spite of good numbers, they actually moved sideways or the price action was weak. So obviously, I think we will go through a consolidation phase. The 200 DMA becomes extremely important for the Bank Nifty. Because if that cracks, then there might be further substantial downside, and it might also pull Nifty along with it if that happens. So the circular will have an impact to a certain extent in terms of earnings. A few banks are going to get hit, as is discussed. A few of them might be better off, both within the banks and the NBFC space. So that's probably the impact of the circular, both in terms of the Bank Nifty and specific banks in action. Since it's loaded up, Rushil, we can start continuing with the questions.
Yeah, so Wakar had told to discuss about IB reals. Let's start with that itself. Overall, if you see, the EPS strength is very poor, but I think the last couple of quarters there has been some positive, but overall EPS देखो negative ही है. Negative इसका strength बहुत ही poor है. तो fundamentally not a good stock to go behind. Technically, yes, there is some positive technical formation over here. There was a strong accumulation before the base formation. ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगर ये part वाला देखो, बहुत अच्छा accumulation था. Every day it went higher, some 5.72357%, and the closing was near the day's high on a higher volume. So this is a very strong part now in the chart for IB real, and that's what happened. यहाँ पे फिर से देखो, यहाँ पे support ले लिया, उसने एक base बना रहा था, and when it was going down during this base formation, the volume was on the lower side, and now on the right side of the base, the volume has started to increase and it is moving closer to the pivot. So stock today went very close to pivot. 87.3 का pivot है, और अगर आज का high क्या देखते हैं, 87.7, so it just was around the pivot level. And so if it moves above that level, यहाँ पे closing होती है, so technically there might be some momentum over here, but fundamentally it doesn't qualifies on the CanSlim checklist, right? Overall it is in a downtrend, but yes, let's see if it can move this technically. So someone is looking just for the technical purpose. And yes, the base is there. The pivot is around 87.3.
Rishit, I'll take few queries now.
Sure.
I'll start with the Praj Industries. Yes, the stock has been having very good set of run starting from June. After breaking out, it has had a good rally, and recently it has come and retraced towards its 50 DMA, and now it has rebounded sharply from that level. So very good opportunity, or we can say it's a very good alternative buy point if you are looking, or if you are aggressively want to invest in the market. Definitely a very good stock, considering the factors, other factors such as EPS of 94, indicating strong fundamental character. ROE has also been very good at 22%. Ideally, generally, we would like to see companies ROE of around 17% or more. Definitely, this company has good ROE in terms of fundamental strength, and technicals have also been very good. Our strength has come down slightly around from 80 levels to 73, but still it is belonging to very good category. Other key parameter coming to the technicals is buyer demand, that is A by D rating, which indicates accumulation or distribution within the stock. It stands at A, indicating very good accumulation happening. If you compare price action with the volume action also, you will get an overview how the stock has performed. There have been very good blue bars, above average volume bars, indicating good amount of accumulation in the stock. So overall, on calcium parameters, it is being doing very good, but it is slightly, you can say, 6 to 7%, if I'm not wrong, from the 50 DMA. So slightly extended. Uh, but if you take position around that level, it would be a good entry. But now, considering extension from 50 DMA, let's see how the stock reacts going forward. And if you already have the stock in your portfolio, you can keep that 50 DMA and a couple of points below that as a stop loss and continue to hold it. Next is Cochin Shipyard. User specifically asking whether to take or buy this stock in the current or in the today's moment. It was a very good day. I can see it was up more than 3%, and also the volume has also been very good. So that might be the reason why the user is asking. But if you see here, the stock is still within the base pattern of stage 3 consolidation, and it is still 10 to 11% from its pivot. So specifically 11% from the pivot. So wait for the stock to come towards close towards its pivot, and then if the similar action happens on the day of breakout, definitely a very good stock to buy. You can see the ratings have been very good, and during the base formation, you can see here the volumes have also been dried up, indicating good amount of only weekends have been getting shaken out, and right side of the base, that is the current last 2 to 3 weeks, there is very good accumulation. That is couple of sessions where stock closed higher, the volume has been above average, indicating good accumulation. The A by D rating is also indicating the same. Rating of A plus indicates that belonging to highest category in terms of accumulation. Price strength is also very good at 86, and EPS has been very good. Fundamentally, the company has been able to generate a good set of returns or growth in terms of sales and EPS. So overall, it is a very good stock, very good story to hold on to. But at the current juncture, let's wait for the stock to break out, and also considering still in rally attempt, it's better to wait for the stock to give a ideal breakout rather than going for aggressive buy points.
Thanks, Raj. I'll take in some queries from you.
Sure, sure.
Rishit, can you give me Tube Investments? It is a YouTube query. Yeah. Thank you. So, if you talk about, last couple of days movement, it was pretty erratic as one can see, and it's forming
One of the other thing is that it's forming a stage 2 C pattern, that is like a base pattern. Overall, I mean, the ratings are pretty decent, as you can see. The only thing is that the fund holding is not improving, and that can be a major concern. If you look at the last 2 through 3 quarters result, even the top line for the stock is not moving either, it's declining. So, I mean, that is why you can see some kind of jittery movement happening within the stock. Even if you look at the last couple of breakout, similar thing has been happening. The stock does try to break out for one day, has a very strong breakout, or comes back to into the base in the first day of the breakout itself, and then it retraces downwards or probably consolidates and tests its key moving averages. Similar thing is happening in this breakout as well. It broke out, I mean, from very close to the key moving average. Yesterday's price movement was around 18-20%. How much it was it? Yesterday's movement? Around 16.7%. So that is what it happens. Like even last time you see in the past few times, it rebounds very strongly from the key moving average, and it kind of exhausts near the pivot. And it happened very similar this time as well. I mean, during the day of the breakout as well, it came back to the pivot. And today's, I mean, the fall was around 8.5% on very high volume. So, I mean, in our view, it's an avoid at this moment. So let it settle down. I mean, let it settle down, and look out for action on the day of on the breakout. If it's successfully breaking out very well, then probably one can think about entering the stock. I mean, otherwise, I mean, it's been very volatile. It's better to keep away from these stocks. The next we can look at it is once again to go up. Yeah. So JSL was discussed. Jain Irrigation was discussed as well, right? Um, Jain Irrigation, then Gland Pharma, then BHEL. Yeah. So overall, I mean, the setup was good. I mean, I didn't see the base count. So the base count for the stock is at 4, and that makes it as a late stage base. So if someone is holding the stock from a probably a prior, yeah, on the weekly also it's 4. So on the, I mean, from the prior uptrend, if someone is holding the stock, I mean, can continue to hold so till probably some key levels are not breached. Because if you look at the overall story and the ratings, the fund holding for the stock, that is very good. So, I mean, till the point in time, there is no technical deterioration. If one bought it at probably a stage 2 or a stage 3 breakout, can continue to do. And I mean, if key moving average such as the 21, the 50 DMA gets breached, I mean, can at least book partial profits or exit depending upon your risk appetite. The other we'll go about it is Gland Pharma. Yeah. So finally, the stock is forming a base. As you can see, it was in a good downtrend. I mean, not the last few months, but before that, if you see, it was in a good downtrend. It formed bottom around the 860 levels, has almost doubled from there. And currently, you can see the stock is forming a stage 1 cup base, what is Rushit is trying to draw in this moment. And as you can see, with that, I mean, good uptrend and good base formation, you can see, I mean, the fund holding for the stock is improving very well quarter on quarter. So, I mean, what probably the smart money is believing that, I mean, going forward, the results for the stock can improve. Uh, in the last few quarters, you can see there is negative, I mean, EPS and sales have been declining for the quarter. But going forward, maybe this trend can change. And EPS trend for the stock is still not that good. I mean, if you ask from the canceling perspective or from our perspective, maybe it can be an avoid because there are other better stocks that are breaking out at this moment. I mean, on the fundamental front, the stock still needs to do a little better. I mean, probably, I mean, not ideally
for us at this stage. The next is BHEL. Yeah. So, I mean, apart from the poor fundamentals, as one can see, I mean, the fundamentals for the last 3 to 4 quarters, I mean, considering the last quarter as well, I mean, the magnitude of fall was pretty high. And that is where you can see the rating for the EPS strength rating has gone down by a huge thing. And overall, I mean, on the technical front, very good. I mean, as you can see, blue dots are getting formed, RS lines are moving higher, key moving averages getting reclaimed on above average volumes. Post breakout, you can see good accumulation happening. Even on this right hand side of the base, you can see good accumulation happening. So if someone is currently holding the stock, can continue to hold. So maybe the stock can break out as well. On the flip side, if the 21 and the 50 DMA gets breached, at least book out on partial profits. I mean, if conservative, I mean, if the investor is conservative, can probably book out the entire portion as well if 50 DMA gets breached on above average volume. And have a look at the Nifty index as well. If the Nifty's index and key sectoral indices, broader market indices are not able to hold up well, then it's better to trim down on positions as well if the position breaches key moving averages on above average volume.
Thanks, Vakar. I'll take HL. So the stock had formed a stage one double bottom base. This was very good. There's a decent momentum after the breakout. The double bottom was a perfect one, a textbook perfect. You just look at this when it was going down the second leg formation. The volume was much dried up. Okay. Raj, yeah. Okay, and then when it was forming the right side of the base, look at the high volumes, and around the breakout also the volume was super high. So this is an ideal double bottom formation. Even the fund holding at the higher base going up more than 3-4%, that's a quite decent one. The ROEs of 25%, the rankings are best, no doubt about that. Even though the RS is just 67, but there is an accumulation of blue dots, so it is at a all-time high. The 52-week high, the RS rating is. Even the fundamentals have been gradually improving, and with the government focusing more and more on the make in India and the domestic, the domestic defense manufacturing players getting benefited from the higher order flow from the defense ministry, and the government's focus on exporting the Indian made the defense equipments, and they are getting a decent success over there as well. So that's the reason the HAL is continuing its a very good momentum over here. So the breakout has been good, but it is extended from the pivot, which means it's not an ideal time to buy the stock. So the ideal time will be 0 to 5% from the pivot. अगर 0 to 5% में मिलता है, then that is always an ideal entry for the stock. Or on the flip side, if you see in the coming months, if it 50 DMA goes higher and the stock comes to test 50 DMA और वहां से bounce होता है, as Rajshekhar discussed for the Praj Industries. So that's what similar, if this happens something like that, then you can enter this stock. If you're holding the stock, then it's a very safe position as of now. It's in a very good zone. Just watch out for your stop loss. Either you can trail the stop loss, or you can use the pivot level or the 50 DMA as a stop loss level. But mind well over here, just look at the volumes. When the stock is falling and if the volume is very low, ultra low, जैसे कि यहाँ पे मैं जो indicate कर रहा हूँ ऐसा है, then you can, if possible, you can hold it. Okay, if we go to other questions, there's a couple of times on Olectra Greentech. So yeah, the stock is forming a stage 3 consolidation base, and you can see the volume had dried up. The price action moment was very weak in this portion, especially August, September, and October before this dip. So ये dip आने के बाद it has moved again. ये पता नहीं इसको 1200 के अराउंड क्या हो जाता है, प्राइस एक्शन एकदम बंद हो जाता है यहाँ पे. Even the volume price सब कुछ, and then it is trading around 1200 zone. अभी it is above that level. अभी 3 दिन पहले एक मस्त ब्रेकआउट मिला था वो जोन से. It moved around 1300 level, but again for the last three session it is going down and on a above average volume. So let's say it is still 16% to pivot. So if it completes this 16% journey on a high volume and the RS line starts going upward, then the other ratings like the EPS, the buyer demand, last few quarter results, that has been really decent. Even the number of fund holding the stock is increasing for Olectra Greentech.
Uh, Thanks, Yusuf. I'll take a couple of queries now. There are queries from YouTube. I'd like to address Midani, Kotak Bank, and two others. So Midani, after breaking out somewhere around June, it has had a very good rally. But if you look at the last 1 month's action, it has been on the downside. From 470, 480 levels, it has been coming down uh, pre- uh, on higher volumes as well on a couple of occasions. Currently, it breached in the process. It breached its moving averages, starting with 2150 and 100 DMS. It is trading at its 100 DMA very closely, but if you look at OH, that is off ice, it is 21% beaten down, and with respect to that, RS rating has also come down, but prior to that, RS rating was definitely higher. RS line declined. Coming to fundamentals, EPS is poor at 44, majorly because EPS in the last 4 to 5 quarters has not been good. The company was not able to report growing profit numbers. On the sales front, it is good, but on the profit, the bottom line front, the company was not able to generate growth. That is the reason EPS is beaten down. Technically, also it is beaten down in the last 1 month, and we'd like to see the stock to consolidate for a bit here and form a base pattern to take a call whether to invest or not. But now it's not in a trade zone. Next is Kotak Bank. It is slightly similar with the Midani on the technicals front. It is beaten down, breached its 50 and 200 DMS. Uh, Fundamentally, it's very good company. It has been able to generate a good growth in terms of sales and profits. If you look at the bottom left corner, you will get an idea. Uh, Minimum to minimum 20 to 30% of growth. That is the major criteria we look on the fundamental front. EPS is at 90. That is good, but the technicals have been on the declining front. They are beaten down. RS of 18 and A by D rating is also on the lower side. That is majorly because of distribution happening within the stock. You can see in the last 3 to 4 months, there have been only one or two blue bars above average, and most of the times the stock has fallen down on higher volumes, indicating some increasing in selling pressure. That is the reason ABD rating has also come down. So at the current moment, it's better for the stock to improve. Let's wait for the stock to improve its technicals, fundamentals. There is no doubt, but let the stock improve from here, form a base pattern, and improve its RS rating. Wait for the RS rate to increase to 50, 60. Then, and if the breakout happens, then you can consider. But at the current moment, again, this is also not in a trade zone. Next is Shanti Gates. Yesterday, the stock has broken out. You can see there was around 15 to 16% of rally in the yesterday session, and the volume has also been at a record high. It was a stage one consolidation, and the breakout happened on a heavy volume. On the breakout price action wise, it is good, Only thing is, it is a very quick action, so very difficult for us to take and call. Base formation is also looking very good. Ratings have also been looking very good, fundamental and technical ratings. But today's action is not good. You can see here most of the gains that is have been paid. It was down more than 5% in the today's session, and the volume has also been above average. So it's not a good sign of momentum or growing stock. After breaking out, we would like to see the stock to find more momentum to take the stock further higher, but that is lagging in this particular stock. And if it comes back to the ideal buy range and the volume on the higher side, definitely you can consider or you can start pyramiding with your capital by investing in or starting with small portions and then increase going forward.
Thanks, Raj. I'll take in some queries from you.
Sure, Waqar.
So can you give me the chart for Castrol India? Yeah. If you look at the stock, I mean, the stock when last it broke out, it hit its power to pivot as well. And post the power to pivot, you can see the stock was consolidating. But after that, when the market came under pressure, the stock has been on a falling spree, and it's currently below its 50 and 50 and 20, 100 DMA at this moment, and probably uh, just reclaimed on its 21 DMA at this moment. I mean, overall, if you look at the RS rating, that is, I mean, the RS strength for the stock is very weak. The RS line, rating line is also moving downwards, so which is not a good sign. Fundamentally, also I mean, the EPS rating for the stock is not that good. So currently, if someone is holding it, I mean, uh, should have partially booked on profit. If not, can probably look at, I mean, 21 DMA, and if 21 DMA or the recent lows around the 132 levels gets breached, can probably partially exit, and considering one would have bought at the previous breakout, can keep 200 DMA as well, because the 200 DMA has more or less come very close to the pivot levels. So if because during this rally itself, it has never breached the 200 DMA. So if 200 DMA anyhow gets breached, then completely exit on the stock. If on the flip side, the on the upside, if the 50 DMA and the 100 DMA gets reclaimed on above average volumes, what happened with 21 DMA, and then I mean, the stock can have some momentum with it going forward. So the next will be ACE, and after that, uh, so, I mean, a stock with a very good fundamentals and business story behind it. And similarly, you can see with the growing fund holding behind the stock, even the overall ratings for the stock is one of the best at this moment within the canceling system. And if you look at the last 6 to 8 quarter result for the stock has been delivering very, very good results on each and every quarters. Be it, I mean, if you look at even at the sluggish quarters, all the quarter results last 6 to 8 have been very good. Even the return on equity for FY23 at 18% is good, considering uh, the business line that it is in. And during the base formation also, if you can see, there has been no major signs of distribution. Whenever the stock fell on lower volumes, and whenever it rose on above average volume. So around breakout, post breakout, on the right hand side of the basis, the stock has shown very good signs of accumulation. If someone has bought at the time of breakout, can continue to hold so, and probably I mean, monitor key moving averages such as the 21 and the 50 DMA, especially the 50 DMA, considering 21 DMA is very close to pivot at this moment. Uh, uh, Monitor the 50 and the 100 DMA. If those gets breached, can probably exit. And on the upside, if the trend continues, I mean, it has good chances of making new highs as well, the stock. So, give me chart for quick heal. Mr. Atul has been asking, me may have missed out. So please give me chart for quick heal. Rushit, chart for quick heal. Okay. Uh, So the fund holding for the stock is declining. Overall, the EPS trend for the stock is not good, but as what you can see is technically the stock is doing very, very well. And at this moment, the stock is 83% above pivot. Can you show me the extension from 200 DMA? Yeah, so extension is more or less around the 100%. So, I mean, what one can monitor at this moment is on the upside. If the extension for the stock gets above 200 DMA, start at least booking out on profits. On the downside, if the 21 DMA has the stock has held the 21 DMA very well. So if 21 DMA gets breached, probably book a very decent or at least 50% of your profit if the 21 DMA gets breached, or if someone is asking about a new entry, considering the extension from key moving averages and from the pivot level, uh, fresh entry into the stock is not advised. Yeah. Rishad, you can take the queries.
Sure. There is question on Bector Foods. So in the month of October, it gave a very clean breakout. But I think when during that a brief market correction, when the Nifty was down some 4-5% from its high, it had breached its 50 DMA, and there was some shakeout trades in the stock. But from then it again rebounded well and it's trading higher. So the stock is currently near to its close to its 21 DMA and 9% from the pivot. So fresh entry is not suggested over here. On the flip side, if you are already holding the stock, then 21 DMA level becomes very important to watch out. If you are a bit long-term investor in this stock and not just for the positional trading purpose liya hai, then you should look at the 50 and the 100 DMA levels. Otherwise, fundamentally, it's a very strong stock. EPS of 97, price trend of 90, higher buy demand, fund holding increasing, excellent. You can see the results, the ROE, everything is really, really good for the stock. And even the growth story, the way the market expansion कर रहे हैं ये लोग, the market में जितना जगह है इनके लिए, फैक्टर फूड के लिए, जाके बिस्किट का मार्केट हो या फिर जो अदर बेकरी आइटम्स का मार्केट हो, तो वहां पे बहुत सारी जगह है अभी. सो उनका एक्सपेंशन इज रियली ऑन द ट्रैक. So this stock can be kept on radar, but yes, fresh entry, it's a bit extended, so no ideal entry as of now. The other question is on the Map My India CE info system. Yeah, the stock is trading near its 52-week high, and there's no base formation over here, so there is no fresh entry according to the base. But if you are holding the stock, then the 21 and 50, I think 50 is more relevant over here. If you look at the last few times, so just above the 50, the stock reversed. यहाँ पे भी 50 के just above stock ने reversal मारा. The same thing if it goes down, there is a chances that it might hold 50 DMA because it's a very good story. Look at the ratings. It's among the best. जो अगर number of fund holdings देखो, more than 50% new funds have entered this stock in the last quarter itself. ROE of 20, consistently good growth in the EPS as well as the revenue. So it is strong on all the front. The management of MapMy India is really good. So if it holds the 50 DMA, one can continue to hold. On the flip side, the fresh entry can be taken if it rebounds from the 50 DMA. जैसे ऐसा कुछ होता है, just to make it clear. Okay, something like this happens. And this is the fresh entry time when it rebounds from 50 DMA. Or if we see some base formation over here, यहाँ पे कुछ base formation बन जाता है next couple of months में, then वहाँ के breakout का wait करते हैं. Okay, KEI Industries. It's a YouTube query. Yes, the stock has broken out of stage 2 cup with handle base in the month of October, but it traded in a very tight zone. जैसे अभी निफ्टी का चल रहा है, this is what I was discussing, right? कि exhaustion हो रहा था ये जोन में. तो दो चीज होती है, या तो भाई पावर पैक मिल जाता है, एनर्जी मिल जाती है और वो भाग जाता है, ठीक है. यहाँ पे नहीं मिली तो ये गिर गया. द सेम कंडीशन आई थिंक अभी निफ्टी का है. सो दिस जस्ट टू रिलेट इट. But yes, after that breakout, it went sideways for a couple of weeks, but it failed and it breached its key moving averages. From there, it rebounded, and recent last 4-5 sessions, the volume on the gain days has been really good. Currently, it is consolidating. It is in the ideal buy zone. It is 3% from the pivot. If you are already holding the stock, then 50 DMA can act as a good support over here. Fundamentally, it's a good story. India's infra growth, the housing growth, increasing middle class income, everything supports the KEI industry well. Even the industrial growth, helps these guys. The results have been really consistent. EPS as well as the revenue growth, the ROEs of 18. Fund holding is continually increasing in this stock, and the other only the ratings are also fine. It's a stage 2 base. Currently, the stock is trading in its ideal buy zone according to O'Neill methodology. We'll take one or two more questions and then we'll close the session. The other one is on Geo Finance. After the listing, there was some 3-4 sessions, maybe more of a down circuit, lower circuit in the stock. There was some adjustments. वो Reliance का index का कुछ adjustment था, उसकी वजह से ये सब हो रहा था. From there, it rebounded sharply from near 200 level. And after that rebound, it went almost 20-30% higher and hit the 260 mark. वहां से फिर से इसको नीचे ठोक दिया गया and it went again around that 200 level, and now it is trying to hold. So if you can see, this is a fresh chart. तो 21 DMA ये green line है, तो उसको अभी hold कर रहा है, and the red line is the 50 DMA. So it is trying to reclaim that level. So currently it is stuck between the 20 and the 50 DMA. So let's see what happens over here. If it breaches the 21 DMA और ये वाला जो level है, I think this level is, let me check. Yeah, somewhere around 210, 212 वाला level breach होता है, then it might again test this 204 वाला लेवल, फिर से 200 204 टेस्ट कर सकता है टेक्निकली. बट इफ इट रिक्लेम्स 50 DMA एंड मूव्स फर्दर फ्रॉम देयर, और यहाँ का अभी जो नवंबर 16 का हाई है 230, उसके ऊपर निकल जाता है, एंड देन द नेक्स्ट वन ये 233 34 वाला जोन है. सो इट मींस ये वाला जोन जब ये निकाल देगा ना आफ्टर रिक्लेमिंग 50 DMA, then we might see some rally over here in this stock as well. I think for discounts offer and all, you can contact the sales team. Raju, if you can help them to connect with the sales team. So
Yeah.
So there is one more
Yeah,
question.
I will take it. This is.
Mold Tech Technologies. So the stock is trading below its all the key moving averages. Not an ideal time to buy. Even if you are holding, then the 200 DMA is already breached. You need to take your decisions very carefully. How much long you want to hold in the losses, if there are any. I'll take few quick queries. Then there is on the Dreamfolks. For Dreamfolks, the growth story has been really good, but there was much technically extended. The stock was very much technically extended, some 70, 80, 90% from its 200 DMA. और उसके बाद एक आध disappointing result आया. Higher expectation थी और उतना result नहीं दे पाया, especially in the June quarter, I think. That's why there was a sharp fall, and now it is consolidating. EPS थोड़ा improve होना चाहिए, price trend भी improve होना चाहिए. Fresh entry, according to O'Neill, not suggested as of now. If holding, then 50 DMA or this जोन जो 470 से 80 के अराउंड का जोन है जहां सपोर्ट मिलता है, that can be used as a support zone. Then if you look at the Ceat, yes, after the breakout there was a strong momentum in the stock, but then since July it is continuously moving lower, but it is gradually moving lower. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक शार्प फॉल आ रहा है इसमें, but it is gradually moving lower. Now around 2000 2050 level, it has a good support and it is trying to take support from there. So if the stock rebounds and it clears this 100 DMA level, which is around 2238, then the uptrend might resume in the stock. Okay, I think we have taken most of the queries, and if we have missed any, then you can always write to us. We will try to answer as many as possible. Or in the email, we will always, try to possibly reply within the next 24 hours. So if we have missed any important queries that you think you need an answer, we'll surely get back to you. I hope it was a useful session and we were able to take maximum queries. Sorry for that 5 minute disturbance in the between, but then also we got a good opportunity to discuss the IPO base as well as the RBI impact on the banks and the financials. So that's it for today's session. Yes, the recording is available. This entire session is live on the YouTube, so you can always take this. Thank you everyone for appreciating our efforts. Yes, I hope we will continue with these kind of sessions that are helpful to you. And if you want to get the regular updates, we always take a pre-bell. So if someone doesn't know, at every market before the market session at 8:45 a.m., we go live for just 6, 7, 8 minutes to give a quick update on the global markets, how the market is ready to open, कुछ major stock news है क्या है, एक chart of the day भी लेके आते हैं. So yes, Dinesh attends it daily. I hope Dinesh it is helpful to you. So yes, thank you. So we always come up with these kind of communications with all our investors. So that's it for the session. Thank you for joining. See you again in these sessions every Thursday. So one it's Trader Smith and the second one it's for the MarketSmith, that is Stock Durbar.